Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we are thinking about being inspired by difference. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are thinking about. And I have my special guest here, Brian, who's going to help us think about this in another way. So, with that being said, thank you so much, Brian, for coming on my show. Let's go ahead and dive right in. When you hear the phrase being inspired by difference, what does that necessarily make you think about?
I think I internalize and think about actually being different. And I think all of us have something quote unquote different about us. I've certainly been one of those people that I started doing things my own way, and it was certainly different from the norm. From my teenage years, getting into my career at a young age, to decisions I've made throughout my life, especially career-wise, to where I was inspired by different. I was inspired by being different. I was inspired by those who were, are, and will always be different. And just sort of that out of the norm mentality that people kind of shake their head at you, give you inquisitive looks, aren't really sure. And that's where I get my inspiration when people go, I'm not sure about that. What do you mean? What are you doing? What is this that you're thinking about or doing with your life in a certain way? What path are you taking? And that's always been a personal inspiration. And I think when people think outside of the box, when people get uncomfortable, it'll surprise you where your life goes.
Absolutely. And I'm one of those people that can admit to what you're saying is that sometimes just being different and being unique is something okay. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all because that's something that I had to recognize at an early age because I was always trying to conform to what everybody wanted and what everybody expected, So once I realized, like, in actuality, I'm actually picking things from people that I think are unique, that I think are special. Why can't I do that with myself? And then once you step into that, it's a whole different ballgame because now you can see other people's unique gifts and talents and beauty that they can't even see. So when people say that sometimes others can see greatness in you that you cannot see within yourself, that's a powerful statement. What does that statement make you think about?
I mean, it's so true because I think all of us are forest for the trees. We're all in our little world. We're all huddled in whatever it is, our bunker, whatever it may be, that we don't realize things. And so when someone compliments you and you're like taken aback by it, it's probably something you don't see in yourself that you should. But, I think that just comes from focus, desire, whatever it may be to achieve. And so compliments are much needed. We might ignore them or we might just, push them aside. But ultimately, you have to be able to go, okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate what the other person says, what the other person does, how the positive feeling that comes from that. So I think that's ultimately incredibly important. And like I said, we're all just in our own little boxes. As much as we're out thinking outside the box, we're still in some sort of box somewhere mentally, physically, or otherwise. And it takes someone from quote unquote the outside to make us recognize, okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because it starts making you reflect on yourself, like, okay, if they see it, then that means there's some type of truth. Because if you heard it more than three, four, or five times, a handful of times, then you can really say, like, I have to do some soul searching, some digging within. And I know you said that this was something that you have been a part of, and this is like a part of you where you see different, you are inspired by different. Why did you go into the PR world? You know what I mean? Is this how you were able to help people embrace their uniqueness?
I mean, the funny thing was, it was someone answering a phone at a company that was in the PR department. I was looking for an internship at a record label. I was a senior in high school, and the person who wound up answering the phone was the last hiring. This person is now my best friend of 31 years, over 31 years. And she was the last hiring. So when the receptionist went to lunch, she covered and answered the phones, and I just happened to call at that time. I mean, that's literally how it started. So I went in, did an interview, and 3 days a week, I would leave school to go learn the tricks of public and media relations at Deaf American Recordings in their PR, in their department with these incredible people who were so open and so giving as far as information and teachings and whatnot. And I picked up so much so quickly, and it was just like, I want to do this. This is really exciting. And so
Yeah.
PR for me started at 17 at a record label in Burbank, California. And it was the person who answered the phone could have been in another department, and my life would be totally different.
Absolutely, right? That is amazing. So, how do you strive for difference in your own life now in your day to day?
I think for me, running my own firm and having clients, it's about keeping them happy. And so the day to day and the strive is all about, it's trying to achieve excellence for them, trying to accomplish their goals, help them accomplish their goals, and really focus on what it is that I can do for them. This is sort of a career choice that you're giving yourself up for others, for people, companies, and so on. And so, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into that. You accept the sacrifice and what it takes to ultimately have success. And for me, having my own company for over 24 years has been that success. And hopefully I've got a few more in me so I can keep doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how could you not? I mean, how can this not be something that you continue forward with when you started at such a young age? It's kind of like engraved into you now, where when you go out into the world, like you kind of see the world differently. You see beauty instead of misery. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the destruction's there because how can you not? You can't just ignore it, but you can also find the beauty within the destruction and the beauty within so many people. And it's a hard thing to have when so many people are not open-minded in that way. They're so closed off. So I guess I'm curious, what could be one of your biggest pet peeves?
Oh, it's probably laziness. It's probably lack of desire. It's probably just
Mm,
mundane. It's people just not living up to their own full potential, people
yeah,
not trying things, people living in their own little box. I mean, the pet peeve aspect is like, I just don't understand. You have
yeah,
one life, go for it, see what happens, make mistakes, take risks, take chances, fall on your face, all that. So when people
absolutely.
don't, I do feel bad, and everyone has their own reason, but we know people that have so much less that strive for so much more. And so when
Absolutely.
people don't take the opportunity and don't take the risk, it just falls flat for me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think now that I'm maturing and growing and evolving and seeking so much more out of life, I'm realizing that complacent lifestyle, nonchalance, I get to it when it happens. No schedule, no self-discipline, no consistency, no goals or ambition or motivation or determination. I mean, those type of things are just like it's wasting. You know what I mean? It's so you're wasting your time, your life, the opportunities. I mean, life is so amazing to be a human and to experience all that is in humanity in the world. I mean, how can you not embrace all that it is or strive for something that is along the lines that's something you never explored? You cannot say you've explored it all, even if you explored the whole entire world. No, there's still something to be discovered. No matter how young or how old you are, there's still something to learn. And I think it's always something beautiful when you're actually able to catch it in the moment. You know what I mean? Like you're in a lesson or in a moment that you know is difficult, but then you pause and be like, you know what? I'm going to remember this and be thankful that I went through this. And when you can have that reflection, I think that's such a great it shows a lot with you and your character and it amplifies out where people want to start gravitating to you more. You know what I mean? And that's when the people say like your opportunities come in. So I guess my next question is, who's your role model?
Oh, wow. I mean, I've
Or
had
do
men.
you have one?
I have multiple. I have mentors that I've worked for over the years that in my mind, whether they're here or gone, I'm still trying to live up to
That's a
what they
beautiful way to
instilled in
say it.
me. So these are publicists in the music industry that I worked for or spent time with that I'm always like in the back of my mind, I want to live up to what they gave me. Those are mine. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way. It's not about a specific name because you know in your heart who you have that acknowledgement and that respect towards. And I think when more people have that type of understanding when it comes to role models, then they'll be able to see life differently as well and see the opportunities that they have in front of them and see how their power within and how they can do different and act different and move differently accordingly too when they are able to see someone in that way, like you just said. Oh my goodness, I wish more people thought like that. So, what could be a superpower? If you could have any superpower, what would be a superpower, Brian?
Oh my goodness. I think, whew, let's go with time travel. Let's just go with being able to experience the Renaissance or
Oh,
Rome or, Mesopotamia, or, different parts of the world at different times. Like
yeah.
that would be pretty incredible. So
I,
that's the one that just popped in my head and I'm gonna go with right now.
I like that. I think time travel is very interesting because I read a book once about immortality and how she was able to see the world from how it changed from complete forest to now in this day and age. And I'm like, okay, immortality is, yeah, you were able to see it and live through it, but time travel is different because you can go wherever you want. You know what I mean? You're not stuck in your now like immortality. Like you can't go back. You know what I mean? You can't see anything that you just remember and hope that you remember that memory. You know what I mean? Like no, now with time travel, you have the opportunity to actually go to certain areas. Imagine going to the Jurassic era. Oh my goodness. Imagine going to back where I couldn't even like so many scenarios and history points are just going into my head that I can't even spit them out because the opportunity I would have a list. Honestly, I would have like would it be like
That,
a bow or like would you just blink and you would be able to time travel or would you have your own watch? Because what if you lose the watch? Would you be able to time travel? You could get stuck in a certain time. See, we would need
ooh, you're
these.
really thinking this out. I love
See,
it. I
this is
love
what
it.
I think about.
I love it. Do it. That is amazing.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, all right. So I guess to start wrapping up the show, what can be some lasting words of wisdom that you can leave us off with?
Hard work gets you everywhere. 10,000 hours is real. If you've got you need passion.
Yeah,
You need passion to live. And if you lack that, I hope you find it. I hope you have people that will help you find it. Your circle of friends are of the utmost importance,
yeah.
and just take care of yourself. I practice a really intense type of yoga almost 5 nights a week, and on the weekends I do a different type. But that 1 hour on the mat just resets and restores everything. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself physically and mentally. It's so important. The
Yeah,
littlest of things. Before we did this, I took my morning walk. Got my green tea, took my walk. It's hot out. I might have had to change shirts, but it was important to just get out there. Get out there,
absolutely.
see the world. I'm giving you a lot here, but I'm just saying,
It's
like,
okay.
you can simplify all this. Living is so important. It's so important. So just
Absolutely.
get out there and find that passion. Whatever it
Yeah.
may be, find it.
Yeah, exactly. Find it. I have a quick question because I'm
Yeah.
curious. You said intense yoga. What is intense yoga? How do you intensify yoga when yoga is supposed to be calming? Please tell me why you flipped it and reversed it.
So I take sculpt yoga about
So,
5 nights a week. And sculpt, the room's about 90 degrees plus. It involves weights and cardio. So there are yoga movements, but there's also, basic weight movements, and each teacher is incredibly different. But the
okay.
focus is the yoga aspect, but including getting your heartbeat up, getting that sweat, pushing your body, and really developing your muscles and your strength while during the practice. So it's 1 hour of yoga, weights, cardio, and it's very intense.
Intense. Yeah. Okay. So now I understand why the intense is added. I mean, you got me with just a 90-degree room, and I'm just like, "Ugh, I'm already sweating. Doesn't take much for me to sweat. So now that you had the yoga moves, the weights, and all of that, believe me, I'll be a sweat ball coming out. Oh my goodness.
I
That
hate
is
to
interesting.
I hate to use the word addicting, but it is. Once you start it, I've been doing it over 11 years now. Once you start, it's one of the greatest workouts you're ever going to do.
Oh, I believe it because it seems refreshing. It seems very
Yeah.
refreshing because yoga alone is soothing. And then you add the like weightlifting is also refreshing. So
Yeah.
when you combine it together and slow it down, I'm imagining you're slowing it down, that it really intensifies and you really get to really notice certain areas of your body with strength that you didn't notice before. So, yes, I think if anything, I'm gonna have to Google it and find out more on this
Please,
because it is interesting. You have me thinking about this. Look at you.
if
All
you're
right,
in LA,
awesome.
just let me know. If you're like, all right, I want to try this, you know where to find me. I
Right?
will drag you to the studio. It's an incredible experience.
Awesome, awesome. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to know more about Brian, I have his website and everything that he has to keep you thinking about PR and just what he has to offer to the world. Because why not think about it, ladies and gentlemen? Being inspired by difference. I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied. Been a hot mess all day. I've been all over the place. So yes, it's okay. We're gonna go through it. Let's go through with it. So check him out and always, always keep thinking, y'all. Bye.